Alright guys, in this week's episode we're going to be giving away this M24 anti-tank grenade. So all you have to do to have a chance to win this is make sure you guys leave a like on the video, comment down below, and make sure you guys are subscribed. I'll be giving this away in next week's episode. Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Building the Battle of the Bulge in LEGO, and today we're going to be working on a lot of things. First things first, I guess let's just jump into it. So last week I did a poll, and the poll was, do I move? So I used to have this mountain section up here, and I had one off to the left side, and the question was, should I move it to the back where we can actually see it a little bit more? Because if it's on this front face, we're not going to really see it, we're just going to see the back side, and it'd be a lot of work to not see something. So I think it was 88% of you guys said to flip this around, and I didn't flip it around because the back side, so this is all white on the front, the back side back there is just all random color, so I didn't want to just turn them off, so all I did was remove the plates, put them back here, and then move the section over here to the right over here, and I'll reset up the camera and show you guys what I'm doing. But I just want to say thank you to all the support. Obviously you guys wanted me to move it, and I'm glad that I did because it's going to make a lot of you guys happy, 88% of you guys, so that's awesome and I appreciate that. Another thing I do want to mention real quick, a lot of you guys have been mentioning, you know, I have the idea of having the Germans surrounded in two houses and then having the Americans kind of surrounding them. Now, yes, I am aware of the whole storyline of the Battle of the Bulge, of how the American Air Force and Airbornes got surrounded, and basically the Germans were surrounding them, so I'm basically reversing it. And the only reason I'm doing what I'm doing is because I have a lot of American tanks. I don't have any German tanks, and I want to use some kind of vehicles on this mock. As always, I always try to use vehicles just because they look cool. They're just cool, yeah, so I want to use tanks. But my argument to everyone saying, why don't you have the Germans being surrounded, or I mean, why not you have the Americans surrounded, is towards the end of the Battle of the Bulge, if the documentaries I have watched and researched are correct, the Germans were the ones that eventually ran out of ammunition, food, supplies, clothing, all that stuff. So this could be like the really last fight of the Battle of the Bulge, if you really want to think of it that way. But the main reason we're doing this, I've got 2 American tanks, I have no German tanks, so we're gonna have to make do with what we have. And I don't have the time, or I don't feel like spending too much money to buy or part out and build German tanks. It would be cool, but maybe I'll change it. But the way I look at it, we got a long ways to go before we get figures and tanks, you know, put on the mock. So, you know, that's in a month or two, so I'm not too worried about figures just yet. Let's just kind of build what I want to build and then worry about that later. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna readjust the camera. I'm gonna zoom in and show you guys what I've been working on. Okay, so this is the far right of the mock, and what I'm doing is I'm laying out these white plates here to kind of show a border of where I want this cliff to be. This is gonna be the not as tall cliff, so this is the shorter one. This I'm gonna have, let's see, 9 bricks tall, and then the other one I'm gonna have 12 bricks tall, and basically it's going to be a total height of 9 bricks because these slopes, if you stack 3 of them, they're 3 bricks each, so 3 times 3 is 9, so that's how tall it's going to be right there. It's a good height, it's not too short, it's not too tall. I don't want to go too crazy because then it just takes a lot more effort to build the rock structure up front because there's a lot more support you need. But another thing that I did mention, and I don't know if I can find one in here, but basically I have a bunch of these 1x2x3 slopes. I wanted to get the ones that are inverted. Basically picture this, but it looks like that. And it's got, instead of a stud here, I could connect this here. And I have some, I need to find them, but they aren't that cheap on Bricklink, and I think I had to get them from like Poland, and that would have taken 2 weeks, and with the whole craziness that's happening in the world, I don't know if I'd get those in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. So I'm gonna have to find them, and luckily I do have some of these smaller pieces that are inverted slopes that I can just simply put on top here, and then I can use these slopes and build up. So I'm gonna be able to make do with what I have. I'm just gonna have to, because 1, they were kind of expensive, 2, shipping's expensive from, you know, anywhere outside the US for me, and it just take too long. So we're gonna try to make do with what we have. I have this one bin here that I've kind of been working with, and basically, like I've been saying, geez, all these white plates are just here for placeholders. What I'm now doing is I'm coming in with these slope pieces and I'm just kind of mocking up the outline of the mock itself, or not the mock itself, but where I want the rock structure to start. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. I've been doing that down here. That's done. I'm starting on this end, and then I'll just kind of connect the dots, and you know, I can kind of move these out of the way. And what I've also been doing, and I'll show you guys the back section back here, you can actually kind of see it there. I'm not fully filling it in like I am down there. I'm spacing it out just so your mind actually kind of connects the dots, which is nice, and you can visualize. I'm very big on trying to get a visual of what things will look like before I spend too much time and effort on them. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking these slopes and I am just spacing them out, I don't know, every 4, 5, 6 studs on these base plates here. And I'm just doing this so I can kind of see, okay, what do I like, what do I don't like? Like here I can already tell that this is coming out too far. So I'm gonna probably move this one back here, maybe do this, and then maybe do that. So a little bit of deviation, but in general, it's kind of like that. And then since I want it more of a blunt start, I might move those back a little bit. So, you know, it's things like that that you have to just kind of play with. And then what I'm also trying to leverage is we obviously have to build all of this up. And so what I'm thinking is if I do it on this edge and then this back edge, almost all of these end plates, I use these larger ones. And the reason for that was originally I wanted to build foxholes in the middle, and this would have made that harder to do. But this actually works in my favor now, because what I can do is I can just take these plates off, like so. I don't think I'll be able to get that one off unless I move those over just a tiny bit. But basically now, instead of dealing with a bunch of 4x6 plates like you see here, you know, messing with all the different supports, I can just raise these supports up, build this wall up a little bit higher, and just put this big plate here, and boom, done. Much quicker and more efficient. So that's a good thing. That's a huge plus for, you know, just time-wise. So, and structurally, you know, having these bigger plates is a lot stronger than having a bunch of tiny plates, which is just nice. So ease of use, all that good stuff. And you know, now that I think about it, this really needs to be moved out. And I don't like the way that looks. So we're gonna fix this right here on camera. So let's do something more like that. That looks better. Okay, so yeah. And another thing I do have to take into account when I'm doing this is I need some space. Sorry, my card ran out of memory. Basically what I was saying is I need space behind these slopes, because if you stack up, in my case, I'll be stacking up 3 of these. So if this is the bottom of our mock, like here, and you do this, let's see, can I focus this better? Yeah, so if this is the bottom right here, and these are our slopes, I need to fill up these 2 gaps here so they don't just break off, and that's gonna take 1 stud, 2 studs back to support that, because what I'll end up doing is taking bricks like that and then do the same thing on the top one, like so. So that's going to take up, instead of just the 2 studs, it's actually taking up 2 more for these supports. So I need to take into account that when I sit that down there, I'm actually all the way back here versus just up front there. So if that makes any sense, basically I just need a little bit of working room, and then the rest of this is going to be open, and we're just going to elevate those up top. Just thought I'd give you a quick shot. You can see, or this is the back, by the way. So this was originally up front, and you wouldn't have seen any of that front of the mountain if it was up front, because it would be facing away from the viewer's eye in this case. So once again, 88% of you guys wanted me to fix that, which I did, and I did that rough layout with the white plates, and then I went in here with some of these slopes, and I spaced them out. These ones I spaced out a little bit more. I actually started over there on that end, and on this end I wanted these 2 to be close enough where if I put a tank there, There's still a little bit of room on each side and just enough room so I could put soldiers on the left and right side. So that was kind of some spacing I did there. And now that then another thing, that's how tall that one's gonna be. And then obviously this one's gonna be this tall over there. And then over here, now that I'm looking at the end, I don't really know what I want to do at the end down here. If I want to kind of continue it this way or just make it completely flat here, I could make this go over here. There's a lot of different things I could do. It's just a matter of how much mountain do I want to build and how do I want it to look. So if you guys have any suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. But this is something I'm going to be working on. I've been very busy lately, so this is as much as I've been able to do so far. But I'm going to keep working on this, and I'll come back to you guys here in a minute. Alright, so once again, we're going to be scrolling through these comments here. Gonna just put my finger over here as my little reference guide. We're just gonna, there's a lot of comments on this video. I'm gonna scroll down as much as I can here, scroll around, and then I'm just gonna stop, and wherever my finger's closest to is gonna be the winner. So let's scroll up a little bit. Let's scroll down there. So Yugoslav Mapper says, it's 3 p.m. when you uploaded it here, and I'm still stuck with my homework. And we have 2 replies, me too, bro, me too. LOL, I feel you. Well, I'm glad you guys are having a good little conversation there in the chat, but Yugoslav Mapper, you are the winner, so I hope that 3 p.m. staying up was worth it because you won that zombie head pack. So shoot me an email through my website, BrickTactical.com, and we can get that figured out. Okay guys, that's going to do it for this week's episode 5. I'm sorry there wasn't a whole lot to show you guys. There's just a lot more layout work in this episode. It's just I've been completely slammed with other work for customers, my own company, BrickTactical, as you guys know. I do a lot of things with it, and it is growing really fast. It's to the point where I don't really have too much time to do videos because I have a bunch of customers that are giving me work and that I need to get done. And so I'm very grateful for that, but it's also really a bummer because I really wanted to focus on YouTube in these times where I had a lot more, at least I thought I was going to have free time, but apparently not. So I'm going to do my best. Stick with me, guys. I really appreciate it for all the people that keep watching these episodes. I'm really enjoying the mock so far. I think it's going to be a very different mock and very cool. You know, the last snow mock I did was the Battle of Moscow, which was actually my first mock series, and I think that was in 2014 or 15, I want to say, and I brought that to Bricks Cascade, and that was the first thing that kind of started blowing up my channel. So I'm really glad we can kind of full circle, you know, 4 or 5 years later, come back and we can do a really cool snow battle, and I think this one's going to be way better than the Battle of Moscow. So I'm really excited for it. I hope you guys are as well. One last thing for everybody that sticked around. First of all, I've got a new product in my hand, and this is what I hinted to a couple, I think it was just last episode that I told you guys in like a month from now I would have this in hand and I'd use it on the site. And this is for minifigures, and that's the only hint I'm going to give you. So you can put a couple things together and you might be able to guess it, but I'm going to show this really fast, and that's all I'm going to show you. So that's really not much, but if you guys really want to go back and pause it and try to take screenshots, go ahead. Post it on Instagram, tag me, post your guesses in the comments down below. But for those who stayed, make sure you comment down below, what should we do? Comment that new product is awesome, and that's just going to throw everybody else off. So comment that new product is awesome, and once again, like, comment, and subscribe so you're entered for that giveaway. And I will see you guys next Sunday for another episode of Battle of the Bulge. Subscribe right there, check out last week's episode, and then another video right there.